Today we're going to discuss my community intervention, and that is health promoting habits in Glendale, California. Start with the population I served. On a broad level, it was the entire community of Glendale, California. And through my research, I discovered that Glendale really is a melting pot of diversity, with over half the population being foreign born. And 27% of the population is of Armenian descent. Armenia is a country. It's bordered by Turkey and Georgia, and in the 70s, there was a massive influx of immigration to the States, most of which settled in Glendale. And Glendale has the highest population of Armenians outside of Armenia itself. Some public health issues to note were heart disease. It's actually the leading cause of death here, as it is in many places. Some other difficulties were mental health difficulties, obesity, and hypertension, with over a quarter of the adult population diagnosed with hypertension. And through my research, I found that Armenian Americans are at a disproportionately higher risk for hypertension. So I just thought that was an interesting intersection of data. I funneled down and focused on working professionals in Glendale, California, of Armenian heritage, and then further funneled through some of my personal connections to employees of the YSR CPA group in Glendale. It's a local accounting firm. Through interview with my individual at the company, they told me some demographics about the office. So it's primarily middle-aged males of Armenian descent. And the company does provide PTO, but it's difficult to utilize. The company also does provide health insurance, but no other health measures are enacted at the company. It's a very competitive and high stress environment with employees often working more than 45 hours a week. And through the end of it all, we found that some of the problems identified were ineffective stress management, ineffective weight management, sleep disturbance, imbalanced nutrition, and poor work-life balance. So I want to talk a little bit deeper about some of those. Stress management, highly related to the company culture, as well as the Armenian culture itself. Being immigrants, there is quite a high pressure in the immigrant community to be financially successful, and it contributes to this kind of grind till you die mindset that is not very conducive to healthy work-life balance and to reducing stress levels. As far as weight management, my interviewee himself and several other employees had noted that they would like to lose weight, that they have trouble sleeping due to stress and due to the pressures of life outside of work, that they often find there's not enough time in the day to complete those activities, and so their sleep is compromised in order to complete them. For imbalanced nutrition, the company provides lunch from local resources, and as we all know, restaurant food is known to be high in fat, high in salt, low in nutritional value, and as the employees are eating this every single day at their desks, they are missing an opportunity to have a well-balanced meal, and they're missing an opportunity to get some physical activity. So I wanted to highlight those. My nursing diagnosis I landed on was ineffective health management related to stress, as evidenced by reports of high stress, weight gain, poor nutrition, and disturbed sleep patterns. So my goal to address some of these issues is to provide relevant and evidence-based data to the YSR CPA group focused on lifestyle modifications. I plan to primarily focus on stress management, sedentary lifestyle management, proper nutrition, and sleep hygiene. And my hope is that everyone in attendance will have a greater knowledge of how these lifestyle behaviors can impact their long-term health and can learn some clear and actionable interventions in order to make positive change towards their overall well-being. This is related to a few helping people objectives, improving mental health, reducing overweight and obesity, improving health by way of enough sleep, and improved health communication. And I picked improved health communication specifically because I thought it was very interesting that Healthy People has identified this as a goal. They've stated that health communication is often intricate, complex, and it can be difficult for people to understand and utilize. I thought this were particularly relevant to my group as everyone in the office speaks English as a second language. So I just thought that was interesting to know, and I wanted to include it. So my nursing intervention itself. It was a workshop held at YSR CPA group. And after research and funneling and, compositing everything, the primary things that I focused on was stress management and increasing physical activity. So in order to address stress management, I taught the concept of mindfulness. Some of you may be familiar with mindfulness. It's a practice of meditation of sorts where you sit, you have an awareness of your senses, of your surroundings, and it just helps people to pause and let go of some stress in the moment. So I taught this with the Teach Back method and had everybody practice, and I encouraged them to practice this maybe at the end of a phone call, at the end of a long meeting, before a long meeting, in order to just help decrease their stress. I also taught some stretching that people can do at the workplace and at their desk in order to get a bit more physical activity. And I really wanted to focus on interventions that could be done at the workplace and that would not be a burden on the employees outside of work, because as they noted that they work very long hours, and it's my personal philosophy that the best interventions are ones that will be completed. So I wanted to teach interventions that were going to be simple, effective, easy, not time consuming, low barrier to entry. So I focused primarily on interventions that could be done in the workplace. Not so much, you should run every day. Many of those employees won't have time for that, and it won't be valuable to them to learn. So I also focused more minorly on sleep hygiene, smoking cessation, balanced nutrition, and strengthening nurse support networks. So I offered printed materials, and then also at the conclusion of the presentation, I offered vital sign screening for anyone who just wanted to see if anything was going on. These are the printed materials that I offered, and they did allow me to hang them in the office so that hopefully they can be helpful to the employees moving forward. For the outcomes, believe that everyone received increased knowledge and resources. I hope that they received increased motivation for health promoting behaviors, and we'll see an increase in their overall well-being. And something else that I wanted to note that I hope will be an outcome is because of this strong Armenian cultural component, many of the people in this company are the head of household, the man, the breadwinner. Armenian culture is a culture that highly values traditional gender roles. And I just thought it was interesting to think about the potential for these men to set an examples for their families and how that could potentially enact change within their communities and with their children so that their future generations are healthier as well and they have better overall well-being. So a very unique resource that I had with this presentation is that my husband is employed by this company. And so that really helped me to just have very pertinent intervention and understand more deeply the culture of the workplace. And then in order to measure the outcomes as well, because I have really stayed on him to practice some of these interventions. And I do feel that it has increased his overall well-being, decrease in stress, he's more motivated to manage his health more effectively. And yeah, it was just a unique and insightful resource that I was very grateful for. And I am glad that I picked this community. I think this population is one that can be overlooked. They aren't traditionally seen as a vulnerable population like elders or mothers or children. And I think it's just important that we keep in mind that everybody needs health education and everybody needs intervention. And we can really serve that purpose in our communities. So thank you for being with me. Here are my references so that you can take a look, and thank you again for your time.